Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah, wa salatu salam ala Rasulullah. We continue reading from Imam Al-Ghazali, the 99 beautiful names of God. المقصد الأسنى في شرح أسماء الله الحسنى, translated by David Borel and Naziyah Dahir. We have reached number 87, Al-Jami'. Here translated as the uniter, is the one who combines similar things, dissimilar things, and opposites. So far as God's uniting similar things is concerned, one example would be His bringing many human beings together on the face of the earth, and another His gathering the distinguished among them on the plane of the resurrection. Now, in Arabic, the distinguished is there is no there is in Arabic there is no distinguished, simply فكجمعه الخلق الكثير من الإنس على ظهر الأرض. That's the first part. وحشر إياه في صعيد القيامة, وحشر إياه وكحشره إياه في صعيد القيامة. There is no distinguished. All of them will be gathered, distinguished or not. Okay. So far as the similar things are concerned, an example would be His uniting heavens, stars, air, earth, sea, animals, plants, and diverse minerals. كجمعه بين السماوات والكواكب والهواء والأرض والبحار والحيوانات والنبات والمعادن المختلفة, كل ذلك متباين الأشكال والألوان والطعوم والأوصاف. Since Imam Ghazali used كواكب, I would use planets. Since it's, had he used stars, then we would say stars. So I would stick to, to كواكب, planets. The second issue is there is no dissimilarity on one level between samawat, heavens, you talk about the cosmos, and the stars. That's one thing that we our planet is simply a planet amongst many planets. وقد جمعها في الأرض وجمع بين الكل في العالم. All of these have different shapes, colors, tastes, and properties, yet He has brought some of them together on earth and has united all of them in the universe. Yet He has brought some of them together on earth. Since He says وقد جمعها في الأرض, maybe simply the pronoun, the suffix pronoun here, is in reference to الهواء, الأرض, البحار, الحيوانات, النبات, المعادن المختلفة. Okay, these are to be found on earth. So rather than saying some of them, it would be all of them. It depends how you read the text. وجمع بين الكل في العالم, then everything بين الكل, that would include the planets and the heavens, basically the cosmos. In a similar way, He has united bone, sinew, veins, muscles, brains, skin and blood, and the rest of the constituents of the humors in the body of animals. Saying al-akhlat, and that's these you talk about old medicine, if you will. He will explain later on about these humidities, and he says as for opposite, as an example, would be uniting heat with cold and dry with wet in the physical constitution of animals when these are incompatible and with and resistant to each other. That is the most expressive aspect of uniting. One will only come to know the particulars of his uniting of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if one knows the particulars of the things he has united subhanahu wa ta'ala in this world and the next, and all that would take a long time to explain. Counsel tanbih. Also, I'm inclined to translate the since he mentioned the bone, the veins, the muscles, the brains, the skin, and blood, but rather than sinew, then why not use nerves? Because elsewhere, the Imam Al-Ghazali describes the nerve system very well in Kitab Sabr wa Shukr, in the book of patience and gratitude. That is the most expressive aspect of uniting. One will only come to know these particulars of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's uniting. Then we have the counsel among men. The one who unites is one who integrates the external behavior of his limbs with the inner realities of his heart. The one who unites is one in whom knowledge is perfect and behavior admirable. So it is said, one is perfect when the light of his knowledge does not extinguish the light of his piety. For uniting steadfastness with insight is difficult. So you will see some steadfast in piety and aesthetism, yet lacking insight. You will find some endowed with insight, yet lacking steadfastness. So whoever unites steadfastness with insight will be known as the one who unites. Um, Uniting the external behavior, the uh, the Arabic has a little bit more the message you talk about al-adab al-zahira, because the external behavior could be negative, could be sinful, could be that cannot be united with the heart, or the other way around. The external could be uh, in line with Islamic ethics and morality, piety, but the heart is not. So here we talk about uniting the heart with the adab, but الحقائق الباطنة بين في القلوب. And the context, since he speaks about فمن كملت معرفته وحسنت سيرته فهو الجامع. So it's really not any kind of uniting. فمن كملت معرفته وحسنت سيرته. That's the one who is al-jami'. The same in the last couple of sentences. نرى صبورا على الزهد والورع. Yes, it's steadfastness, it's patience, but the issue ultimately is about reaching, having basira. One need to reach to unite صبر and basira. والجامع من جمع بين الصبر والبصيرة. Number 88 and 89. الغني المغني. The rich, the enricher. The rich one is he who has no connection with another. No connection لا تعلق له بغيره. No connection. Is not attached, is not in need, is not. Because if you think about the human being, there's always something going on in terms of attachments. And here, when we speak about, I mean, it does, if we continue reading it, it does explain itself, hopefully. The rich one is he who has no connection with another, neither for his being nor for the attributes of his being. But rather transcends connections with things other than himself. For when one's being or the attributes of one's being depend on things outside oneself, then his existence and his perfection depend on them essentially, and he's actually poor. He's actually poor, in need of acquiring what is his, in need of acquiring what is his, in need of acquisition. Yet it is conceivable that any but God, may he be praised and exalted, be free of all such dependence. So the very first sentence, هو الذي لا تعلق له بغيره. We can simply cut the whole paragraph uh, and simply say ولا يتصور ذلك إلا لله تعالى. The rich one is he who has no connection with another, no dependence, no need. So only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described in the Quran as Al-Ghani, self-subsisting, and the human beings. أنتم الفقراء Allah. You are in need. Faqir here means poor. There's a difference between poor as someone uh, who needs financial help, who needs, but all human beings, think about literally the richest 1%, the top three or whatever of the world richest, they are still included in that category. أنتم الفقراء إلى الله. They are in need. They are in need. There is no way. Your very being as a human being uh, is dependent on others, on other things. You need air, you need water, you need food, you are always in need. And it's very strange. It's very, very strange when people start adding, you know, and what people um, talk to themselves and they express to others, I need this. Usually children, but sometimes children who are, really old children. Uh, they become 30, they become 40, and they talk about, and they use that language. I need. No, you don't need. You don't need. You don't need the very last, iPhone. You don't need. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, but people convince themselves you don't need. It's very simple. I'm not advocating a life of bare necessities. Um, bare necessities. You need the. You don't need. You don't need. We accumulate things, they become extension of ourselves. Insecurity. Insecurity. And God, great and glorious, is the enricher as well. But it is inconceivable that the one who is enriched become in his enrichment absolutely rich, since he will at least be in need of the one who made him rich. So he is not in fact rich, though he is able to dispense with everything but God, but only because he supplies him with what he needs, not because his needness or his neediness has been cut off at the roots. The truly rich one has need of nothing at all, while the one who is needy yet possesses what he needs is called rich figuratively. This is the highest possible realization which may be attained by one who is not God. May he be praised and exalted. So far as losing neediness is concerned, it is not to be. There is no neediness save for God Most High. He will be called rich. Rich basically not in need. I mean غني استغنى عن. In fact, English is poor really. Because the etymology of غني is different from rich. If he had not retained the basis of neediness, the saying of the Most High would not be correct. And this is really what we mentioned. والله الغني وأنتم الفقراء. والله الغني وأنتم الفقراء. God is the rich and you are the poor. But for the fact that it is conceivable that one could become free from everything but God, it would not be correct to ascribe to God Most High the attribute of enricher. Al-Mani', the protector. Is the one who counters the causes of destruction and diminishment in religious and temporal affairs by creating causes intended for protection. We have already treated the meaning of the preserver, al-Hafiz, and all preserving necessarily protects and repels. So whoever understands the meaning of preserver understands the meaning of protector. For protecting is related to the causes of destruction, while preserving is related to being freed from destruction. So it is the ultimate goal of protecting. For protecting is desired for preserving, while preserving is not desired for protecting. For protecting is desired for preserving, while preserving is not desired for protecting. As a result, every preserver is a protector, but not every protector preserves, except when it is a case of an absolute protector encountering all the causes of destruction and diminishment, so that preservation is attained necessarily. And the next two attributes could shed light because, yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the protector, al-Mani', but think about now the next two attributes, ad-Dar and Nafi', the punisher who benefits. The punisher is ad-Dar, and Nafi', he who benefits, is the one from whom comes forth good and evil, benefit and harm, all of which is to be referred to God Most High, whether He act by means of angels, men, or inanimate things. This needs, inshallah, a longer discussion, and there is a good entry here, number 91, 92 on page 144. This, inshallah, we will continue reading with Azza Jal in the next session. Until then, سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.